we gotta give Marissa credit. She is doing what we wish a lot of these Americans would do in these situations when they realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't marry this motherfucker. At least she's thinking about it. I'm just gonna give her a little bit of, don't hate me. I'm just giving her a little credit. I'm Danny. Welcome to my dark desk. Grab your sippy sippies, your puffy puffies, because we're here to talk about 90 Day Fiance, season 12, episode 10. I'm questioning everything. We're specifically here to talk about Marissa and Edward. My God. The episode starts off with Edward minding his Dominican business, making himself some coffee. Marissa comes in like gangbusters, talking about, I had to do the trash again. Mad salty. Edward's like, okay. So did you understand what I mean when I said to take the trash to the curb? And he's just like, curva? Like he's speaking Spanish to her English, and she's like, I don't want you to say yes, yes, yes to me. I want you to do it the right way. And my thing is, did she actually show him how to do it? Because if you've never had to take out trash for a home, then you need to be taught it. Like, he just got here. I'm assuming the Dominican Republic doesn't have the same trash laws or trash dynamics that Americans or people in Pennsylvania have. Even state to state, the trash laws are very different. So I don't understand why she, like, say for example, she decided to get with a man from Alabama. Well, I don't know if Alabama recycles the way they do in Pennsylvania. So she would have to teach him that. She would have to teach him what goes in the recycling, what doesn't go in the recycling. So why is she so upset with him? The dynamics between them is salty as shit. She says, I will see you later. She goes out to meet with her mom. Her mom is, of course, fashionably late, looking like her goddamn older sister. I know she's online crying tears of sadness that everyone's saying that your mom looks better than you. God damn. So the mom looks at her and says, how are things? Just a loaded ass question. Marissa's like, I'm okay. And then the mom like looks at her again. She's like, how's Edward? And then Marissa just unloads like all the things. The fact that she has to teach him everything and she's been very snippy, very mean. She is getting aggravated. I mean, in her interview, she's mentioned that she expected Edward to acclimate faster. She didn't explicitly say that was a promise he made to her before he got here, but her expectations are bizarre. Even if somebody told me, and they're from a tropical region that is nothing like the United States, I would never expect that person to acclimate to the United States that quickly. It would at least take it. Listen, I moved into a new city and I'm a city girl and I am still acclimating a year later to the new city, and I'm an American. I moved from one American city to another American city and I'm still acclimating. You can't expect this person to adjust within 30 fucking days. Like, her expectations has me and everybody fucked up, because it's not only that, Marissa's fucking mean. She's mean and she acknowledges it, right? So she tells her mother, I've been mean, I've been snippy, I haven't been myself. And the mother's like, well, you know, he's from a different culture, he's from a different whole thing, and of course he's gonna have this adjustments, but you know, no one's saying he's a bad guy. The mother is very suspicious of the situation. I think the mother thinks that he is trying to run game on her daughter. But here's the thing, Marissa indicates that she's always complaining, she's always bitching and moaning, and Edward just kind of shrugs it off like, it's okay, I love you, it's okay, we'll figure it out. And it's further aggravating her, probably because she can sense that he's not being sincere. The mother's like, well, if he's not saying how he feels, he's going to resent you. And Marissa's like, yep, bet, you're right. The next scene, we see Edward and Marissa in the park, and they're pronouncing park in Spanish and in English, and they're holding hands. It's like a sunset, it's a big beautiful field in Pennsylvania. And then Marissa sits down and says she understands she's been a bitch, she's been a nightmare to deal with, and she wants to understand what the process has been like for him. And he's like, I'm a little aggravated because he doesn't know anything about this country, and the expectation for him to understand and learn quickly is difficult. He was saying in his interview that he can't really express himself the way he wants to because his English is not as good as his Spanish. He says it's hard for him because there's a lot of pressure. He's expected to be perfect. He says that if he speaks up, it's a problem. If he doesn't speak up, it's a problem. In his interview, he's like, she has absolutely no patience with me, and he just doesn't understand how she can't be patient with him because he doesn't know this country. He just got here. Marissa admits that she's acting like a bitch, but she feels that it's her fear that's clouding her behavior and that she's having serious doubts about their relationship and if she could continue to get married. She asks Edward if he feels the same way, that sometimes he feels like this is a mistake coming to this country, and Edward's like, I don't have time to think about that. I just have to keep moving forward and make the best of what it is right now, because most of his life has been difficult. He's never had a choice. And Marissa says this is too scary for her in general and she doesn't know if she can move forward. And Edward says, I need a him and it gets up and walks away. The producer pulls him aside and says, hey, what's going on? And he is pissed. He's saying, I am not going to beg, I'm not going to plead, and I'm not going to suffer for anyone. He didn't come here to be miserable. And so he goes back to Marissa, and Marissa asks if he's okay. He's like, I'm not okay. Marissa's like, we have to have these difficult conversations because that'll increase our bond, that'll make us stronger. Edward's like, I don't want to show weakness, I have to just keep going. And that is a Caribbean mindset. So Marissa will never fundamentally know this because from what I understand, she never had to struggle the way Edward would have to struggle. And that is a fundamental value difference. She's like talking about, we have to talk about these ups and downs and we have to be able to manage these ups and downs. And Edward's like, I am a manager of difficulty. I know how to get through things. He's like, I'm not gonna cry like a little girl. I'm like, easy on the misogyny there. But Marissa says, I feel better for expressing myself and I just want you to express yourself. I don't believe her. Remember episode 1? She was telling her coworker that he would complain about his difficulties at his job and she's like, oh, he doesn't have real problems. That's the mentality we're dealing with, because you say you want to understand and be a space for him to be vulnerable, a safe space for him to vent, but that's not true, because if he complains at all about the circumstances of his condition, the condition that you created for him or allowed him to come into, I have a feeling that Marissa is going to be bitter as hell. Pretty much the episode ends with her saying, well, I need a strong man to chin check me and correct me. And I thought to myself, wasn't that your ex-husband? Your ex-husband comes off as the type of man who will say whatever the hell he wants with no regard. And I have a feeling you are very dissatisfied with it, because what you really want is a submissive man who says yes, 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 and then bucks up every so often. Edward is not that man. She's going after the same kind of man who will speak up and will hurt her feelings and will make her more anxious, because he's never gonna do what you want him to do. You tend to pick out dominant men. It is what it is. She wants to be the dominant one, but she doesn't want to be the dominant one. Marissa, you need to know yourself a little bit better before you start dating. That's my humble opinion. But that is my recap. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do as you deem fit. Keep your sippy sippies, your puffy puffies close, but your instincts even closer. And I'll be sure to catch you on the flips. Bye. And I love the mother for saying it's never too early for wine. And that was me when I was an alcoholic. The way I'd be waiting until like 11 o'clock, like, oh, it's brunch. No, it's not.